Hello guys, my name is Israel from Polar Energy, and today we will be going over another HMI software called HiTek Studio. So, for this video, I will not be showing you how to download HiTek Studio. That video will come later. Anyway, so you go to HiTek Studio, you just open that up. So once you open it up, you're going to get this blank screen. You simply go to the upper left-hand corner of File, click on Create New Project. On name, I'm going to name that HiTek Studio 1, or just something random. Click OK. And here you see that it's going to prompt you to select your HMI model. Now you can filter this by series, you can filter this by screen size, you can filter this by resolution. I'm just going to pick this 7-inch display. And here you can see the product description. You can see the series, you can see the model, the LCD size, color, etc. So this is kind of useful. So you click confirm. And bam, you just made a project in HiTek Studio. Now, what are we going to do for this project? For this short little project or demo, we are just going to go over some very basic functions. We're going to create new windows or screens, or whatever you want to call them. We're going to insert a change screen button. We're going to insert another on-off button. And then we're going to insert a light indicator. And finally, we're going to run a simulation to demonstrate that all of this works. So, first step, making new windows. So I have here basic window 1, my first window. How do I make another window? You simply go to the very top toolbar, under Window, click that, create a new window. This menu will pop up, and here, under Window Description, you can actually rename this from here. So I'm just going to type in Screen 2. I'm going to name that Screen 2. Then here in Background and Border, if you click on this tab, you can mess with the background and border. Just click here. Under Color, I'm going to change this guy to, let's change it to green. You can mess with the border width. Let's see, I'm just going to, something random like 4. And okay. And boom, there you go. You changed your Screen 2 to a green color, and then here you can actually see that it has a grayish looking border. All right, well, let's do the same thing for our first window. So for our first window, you can right click, go to Window Properties, and you're going to get the exact same menu you got before. So you do the exact same thing. Window description, I'm going to type in Screen 1. In background and border, let's just add a border. Color, let's do blue. Click OK, and boom, there you have it. You have your first window in blue, your second window in green. And now here it still says basic window 1. It didn't change over to screen 1 like we changed it. So that's kind of bugging me. So I'm just going to exit out of this guy. Then go over here to the bottom right. And you can see right there highlighted screen 1. That's my very first window. So I'm just going to right click that and boom. It refreshed and now it says screen 1. Great. Now let's insert some text boxes, just so we know at a glance, what these screens are. So the text box is right here in the upper right hand corner, right there. Static text. Click on that. Here in this top box under tag contents, we're going to type in nothing fancy, screen 1. If you go down, You can change the font. I'm going to go with something bigger. Let's do 30. Let's do 30. I'm not going to change the font style. I'm just going to leave it like that. Press OK. And boom. Big letters, screen 1. Let's do the same for screen 2. You go to screen 2. Oh. You go to static text. Here under tag contents, we'll type in screen 2. And we're going to make that 30. 30. That's fine. Okay. And there. We just inserted text boxes, just so we can see what we're dealing with here on this, on our canvas. So now that we have that, now that we did that, let's go ahead and run a simulation. Here in the upper right-hand corner, this green triangle with the grayed out circle, not to be confused with the green triangle with the green circle, which is online simulation. No, we go to offline simulation. The grayed out circle. We click that guy. We press OK. Let it do its thing. And boom. This is what our HMI screen would essentially look like. But I'm clicking around this screen, and oh no, I don't have any buttons. No. So let's get some buttons going. Specifically, a button that would let me switch screens once I press it. So when I'm in screen 1, I press a button, I switch over to screen 2, and vice versa. When I'm in screen 2, I press a button, and I will be taken to screen 1. So I'm going to exit out of this. I go to screen 1. How do I insert a button? So we go here to the very top, toolbar, component, go to switch, go to bit set. Once I'm at bit set, I'm going to actually get rid of this tiny little menu here because I actually want to go here, window operation. So I'm going to exit out of this, click on window operation, action. So I want the button to activate when I press it, so I'm going to leave this at pressed. Setup, I'm going to switch window. That's what I want to do, so I leave that. And then switch to window 1, no. I'm going to click this button. I want to switch to window 2. So I'm going to select window 2, and then press OK. And boom, there we go. I just made a button. Now, I want to label that button so I know what it does. So I'm going to go on label. And here in this box, I'm going to call this, I'm going to label it change screen. So you may notice that here in the upper right hand corner, it says change screen when the status is 0. So when the button's off, it'll display change screen. Well, I want the button to say change screen no matter what the status is, no matter if it's pressed or or not pressed. So I'm going to do the same thing for 1. Change screen. And one last part. Go to graphics, and you actually get to pick out your button, what you want your button to be. You can pick this guy, you can pick this guy, you can pick any of these buttons. I'm actually going to leave what is right here because I want to see the text, written across the button. So I'm just going to OK, and boom, change screen button. Now I'm going to do the same thing for screen 2. So same thing, go to component, go to switch, go to bit set, get rid of this little window because I want this guy, window operation. In window operation, leave this as pressed, leave this as switch window. And then in 2, I will leave this as switch over to screen 1. Because I'm in screen 2 wanting to go to 1, so I'm going to leave that there, press OK. I'm going to go to label, same thing, call this change screen. Same thing for when it's on. Change screen. And then graphics, leave it as is. I just want that plain gray button. Press OK, and there I have it. Another change screen button. All right, well, let's make sure this works. So once again, offline simulation. Remember, you want the grayed out circle. So press that guy, press OK. Let it do its thing. And there, I have the button. So when I press this button, this change screen button, I should be able to go to screen 2. I press it and it works. So when I press this guy again, change screen button, I should be able to go to 1. I press it and it works. Great. So we're almost done here. Just one more thing. I want to insert kind of like an on-off button, and I want to insert an indicator light indicating the state that the button is in. Okay, well, I'm only going to do this for screen 1. So let's just exit out of the simulation. And then again, you go to component, you go to switch, you go to bit set. Once you're at bit set, you actually want to keep this tiny menu around. You go to action. So once again, when I press it, so I leave that as press, execute settings. Now, I want the same button for on off. I want to press the button, go to off, press it again, go to on. For that operation, I'm going to pick inverse. You pick this guy right here, inverse. So you pick inverse, leave this address as LB, go to OK. Now that's made. For this button, let's label it. I'm going to label it. I'm going to label it on off, because that's what it does. See, just remember, 0 off. You also want it to display on off when the state is in 1. So you change it in there as well. On off, awesome. Now the graphics. Actually, let's keep the grayed out button because I want to see my text. And there we see it. On off. Now I want an indicator light right next to this guy to indicate what state the button is. The button is in. So you go to component, you go to indicator light, go to bit indicator light, and then you would go to label. Actually, no, I don't want to label it because the text would just interfere with my button. It would be displayed right on top of the button. And I don't want that. So I'm just going to go to graphics. Now I want to pick a button where it's red and then green. It's like this guy. Status 0 is red and the status 1 is green. I think that will do it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So press OK. I'm going to drag this guy over here because this indicates that it corresponds with this button. So now when I run a simulation, not only should I be able to change screens, but also when I press this button, this indicator light should change color. Now it's red, but when I press it, it should be green, and then once it's green, when I press it, it should transition back to red. All right, let's test that theory. Let's go to offline simulation, press OK again, let it do its thing, and boom. So these buttons still work. Great. Now let's test this guy. I press the button, green, that works. I press the button again, and it should be red, red, it works. So for this initial HiTek Studio project, this very simple demo, created multiple windows or screens, whatever you prefer to call them. We created a change screen button to flip through those screens. We created another on-off button and paired it with an indicator light just to indicate what state the button is in. So that was our first little project, our first little demonstration, and it's pretty simple. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.